Okay, so there's a full moon out tonight, and it was Friday night going into Saturday. So we like to say full moon videos on Friday night frights and stuff, but I'm here to talk to you guys about yet another occurrence in our skies. So 2024, as you already know, has seen a lot of things. We've seen the total solar eclipse on April 8th, which was a fascinating event if you were in maximum totality. We saw the Devil Comet. We've seen a lot of things going on. We've seen the meteor showers being a little bit different. We've seen several things going on, but right now with the moon, there's something called a major lunar standstill, and there's also called a minor lunar standstill. And right now the major lunar standstill is going on. Now, what is that? What does it exactly mean? Well, as you're looking at the moon right now, it is the most southern point that it could ever rise in the history of time of the world. And it can go either 35 degrees, either north or south of due east. And you think of the sun and the moon as generally rising out of the east and setting to the west. You know, due east would be 35 degrees that way. But right now it is 35 degrees to the south. And on June 21st, which was ironically the summer solstice, right? That's how weird this is. The sun was in its most northerly position that it could possibly be. So let me break this down a little bit more and make it a little bit easier to digest on what exactly is a major lunar standstill. So the sun generally takes 1 year to traverse in its extremes from north to south of the equator. And for most of the people watching these videos, you're in the northern hemisphere. So right now the sun is at its most northerly location, and when it set last night on June 20th going into June 21st, somebody here in Parkersburg, West Virginia had actually photographed that sun setting in between the two bridges, which is fascinating because when they constructed those bridges they must have known exactly where to put them over the Ohio River. It's really weird, but the sun set exactly right between those two bridges, and you can only get that for a few days around the summer solstice, or June 21st. And solstice in Latin means sun still. Well, the moon to stay still isn't called a lunstice, it's called a major lunar standstill or a minor lunar standstill. And the difference is that the major is just more extreme. So it's 35 degrees to the south right now, and that's what you're looking at. So this actually takes a lot longer than what the sun does. So typically the moon will go through its extremes every month, or 28 days rather, as compared to a sun taking 365 days or a year to do its extremes. The moon actually typically does that in 28 days. But when it goes through a period of a major lunar standstill, it actually takes 2 years to happen. And this periodic cycle happens every 18.6 years. So the last time it happened, I believe, was at the end of 2005. So like I said, what you're seeing right now, it doesn't seem extreme, and 99% of people will never know, and I wouldn't have known had I not seen articles, but it is at its most southerly rise point right now, and it will set as such as well. And this, like I said, actually will go on for about 2 years. So that's the fascinating part about it. And it just makes you think about the creation of everything. You know, when God created the sun and the moon, as it says in the Bible, there are things that are beyond our comprehension that scientists today are still trying to discern and figure out. And it just really makes you think, what exactly do we not know? And what did the ancients know? Because right now, some laboratories across the world are actually really studying where the moon is rising and setting, and they're trying to line it up with archaeological sites such as Stonehenge right now, and trying to figure out, because we know that Stonehenge was built around the sun, but was it also built around the moon? And that's what we're trying to learn and figure out right now with some of these ancient sites. So some laboratories across the world are actually studying that stuff right now, and time will tell. What did the ancients know that we don't know? We already know that the pyramids were based off of the sun and the moon, and that has some ties in with aliens as well, ancient aliens, and possibly even giants on the construction of those pyramids. So Lots of things to think about as we find giant skeletons all over the world, and have for the last 100 years. That information has been suppressed, but we're starting to learn out more and more things. So just wanted to let you guys know about a major lunar standstill. Thanks for tuning in, and we're going to come at you with more lunar events and solstice events in our skies here in 2024.